Hello and welcome to episode number 39 of Comment Chaos Live with me, Christian Rauchenwald. As always in Comment Chaos Live, we take a look at the comments that I receive in my videos to hopefully answer the questions that you may have and to give you a chance to also ask the questions that are not asked in the comments in the live chat. And I'm gonna take this straight away. There's not that many comments today, but a few are there to look at, actually two to be precise. Which is also the reason why next week we will switch from a daily Comment Chaos Live format to a weekly one. So I'm planning to have one Comment Chaos Live episode in the near future, always on Wednesdays, until either the volume of comments increases again so that it makes sense to have the daily episode, or that's the only option. So it will be a weekly format moving forward. Until it just makes sense to have them daily again, yeah? Now, today is the 2nd of June. I hope you all had a great start into the new month. It's also a Friday, which means the weekend is ahead. Yay! For those of you that are into gaming, today is also, or as of midnight today, at least in Germany, or 1 a.m. today, the early access for Diablo 4 starts, which means I'm actually going to stream on Twitch today in the evening again, and I'm looking forward to some Diablo 4. It's going to be hard to actually focus during the day and get some work done without being tempted to just turn on the computer and start the game, but other things are more important than gaming, but I'm really, really excited. Maybe you'll join me later on Twitch. Other than that, since it's Friday, there is no daily market mastery stream, so no trading stream since they are not on Fridays. They're only Monday to Thursday. And yeah, now last but not least, before we look at the comments, as usual, the disclaimer: everything that I share in this live stream / video, depending if you're watching it now live or later as a video, is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. And with that, hi Jimi Hendrix, I'll answer that after we looked at the two comments, yeah? With that, we'll jump into Agora Pulse, the tool we're using to manage the social media stuff. And there, as said, only two comments today here on this channel. Hey, I lost my passphrase and reset a new wallet, not knowing that I would lose my coins if I make any mistakes. Now most of my coins are migrated to the old wallet. Please help. Is it possible to recover? Well, no, that's the whole purpose of a passphrase. If you lose it, forget it, whatever, there's no way to restore access. I mean, if there would be a way to easily restore access, then it wouldn't be secure. Sucks. Sorry to hear that, Adam, but yeah, it's just the way it is. What you can do is in your can actually share. I actually will share my phone screen in a second because we also need it for some other stuff. So just a moment. If let's view is starting. Come on, there you go. Let's view and then redetect on the phone and then connect and Let's View is really one of the best apps emo. So in my opinion, for when you want to share your screen or so phone screen. So there we have the phone. Let's move that over there. And now we have, do we need Pi? What do we need? Pi, the main app, yeah. So, and then we press that magic iPhone button. And then, yeah, so in what you can do is you go to main menu, mainnet checklist, and then make sure that here in point 3, you can select it, and then you can enter a new passphrase. And I think point 7 as well. So just check the entire checklist and everything that's about wallets. Point 7 is the agreement, and that one you could then, I think, accept again after you change point 3. But make sure that your wallet address is updated there, so that when you have future migrations, those coins actually go to the right wallet. As for your old wallet, well, you can try to search if you can find the passphrase again, but if you cannot find the passphrase again, then you're shit out of luck. That those coins are simply in a wallet that you don't have access to anymore, and that nobody will very likely be able to access at any point in the future. So that's that. Now, on a very old Pi Network video, I don't know from which year it is, definitely more than a year old. Most people are greedy as fuck though, and have a desire to get rich quick. As soon as folks get a little amount of money worth using, they will sell off, yeah, which is funny because that comment is actually sorry, forgot to switch the screen. Yeah, so here we are. So that comment is actually contradicting, because most people are greedy as fuck and have a desire to get rich quick, yeah. And then as soon as they get a little amount of money worth using, they will sell off, yeah. But it doesn't matter if you have 100 pi or 100,000 pi or a million pi or whatever, yeah. If, like, let's say pi launches at 1 cent, yeah, like, I mean, I'm not saying that it will, but let's say at 1 cent, and you instantly sell off whatever amount you have, well, it will not make you rich then, because you got a one-time payment, and which probably is for most people, especially those that joined later, might then be, I don't know, $10, $50, maybe $100, maybe even, let's say you get $5,000 for your pi if you on the launch day of the open mainnet, when it's finally tradable against fiat or crypto, and you get $5,000 for your pi. Well, then you're not getting rich, because you get $5,000, and $5,000 in no country on this planet is rich. Yeah, it might, in very, very poor countries, you might be able to live a year or two with that money, but that's not rich. That means after that year or two, and that only if you live very frugal, so no new iPhone, no MacBook, no PlayStation or something like that. After that, you're still broke again and have to work again. So yeah, like, point is like, the number one issue or problem that people have, yeah, with becoming wealthy, and I'm not talking because I'm like, I know everything better and whatever, and I've always been perfect. I'm talking here from experience, is they lack patience. Yeah, so it's like, for example, I don't know, like years ago, I started trading, yeah, a little bit. So I would deposit, I would have 500 euro or 1,000 euro available, and I put it on some broker for, it doesn't matter if it was stocks, forex, options trading, whatever it is. And then I made some trades, and I made like 10% return, which in a month or in a week, yeah, like doesn't matter, even in a day, which is incredible, like 10%. Like, I mean, where do you get 10% return in a year, yeah? And so made that in much shorter time, but then that's only 50 euro or only 100 euro, depending on if I deposited 500 or 1,000, yeah? And so it doesn't change my life, and I spend hours of my time to make that money, but it doesn't make me rich. So suddenly you start to take more risks, because, hey, I need 100% return on a day to make my 500 into 1,000, the 1,000 into 2,000, and so on. And obviously, if you take way more risk, eventually you're wrong, and eventually poof, your money's gone, yeah? So it took me years to develop the patience. Like, for example, if you check out my eToro portfolio, I achieved a return of like almost 30% in 2021. In 2020, yeah, almost 40% in 2020, 35 or a little bit above that in 21, 45 last year, and yet this year I'm so far at minus 20 roughly, yeah. But I'm patient, and I know that my positions, or I'm confident that my positions will play out by the end of the year, and that I will again be in a decent profit, beating the markets. Yeah. If I wouldn't be patient, I would, or years ago, if I would have done the same, like 10 years ago, I would be like, okay, my position is minus 5%. Oh, I'm gonna close it, because I would panic, instead of just asking myself, okay, what is the reason why I have that position? Are those reasons all still valid? And if yes, then yeah, then just wait it out, and it's gonna be fine. Yeah. And the same is with everything else. People, as you say, want to get rich quick. It's also, I see it on the bandwidth sharing app videos. Like, bandwidth app sharing are like the greatest apps in my opinion, because you just install them either on your phone or your computer. We, for example, have a relatively energy saving computer that runs all of the bandwidth sharing apps and a few other things 24/7. So, and each app, like some of them with Draft Monetizer, took us a year to reach a $10 payout, but all I had to do is sign up, install the app, and my computer is anyway running for a bunch of other things, and it's an extra $10 every year, yeah? Then there are other apps where I get payouts every month, yeah, which might be, I don't know, it doesn't matter if it's $20 per month or $50 or even $100 per month, yeah? So like, but running all of those apps obviously sums up to a decent amount every year. Yes, with some apps, I said it takes longer to reach the payout. With other apps, you might even manage monthly payouts and so on. But if you then, and it's small amounts, like I said, $20, $10, whatever, $15, $5, and so on. But if you then combine all that money suddenly, and you look at it on a year, it's $100, $200, $300, $400 in a year, depending on the country you're in, just for running a bunch of apps. And then when I see on the videos people that yeah, it's not worth it for whatever, the $20 or the $5, yeah. Or same with CoinApp, like CoinApp, we had a comment in one of the last episodes that was about like, yeah, it's not worth it because whatever, yeah. And I just have two phones, one spare iPhone that's kind of like an emergency phone, if one of ours were to break, and an Android phone to review apps that are only available on Android. And they are just on a desk and they are plugged in, and they use relatively little electricity, and they just run CoinApp day and night in the foreground. And I basically pretty much, not every 4 weeks, but every 6 weeks, I get like $10 from both of those. So combined, so one payout each, so $5 each worth of XYO tokens. Yeah. So that's like, I don't know, like 10 payouts per year or so. So those two phones alone are like then, like $50 or so per year. Just, yes, they don't use much electricity, so just having that $50 per year, it's not worth it buying a phone specifically for that, yeah. But if you have a spare phone and you run CoinApp on there and so on, and in that case, to be completely transparent, we also own a Sentinel X BLE, so it's the Bluetooth dongle that costs you like $40, $50 once. That gives it a 10 times boost, yeah. So, but that was a one-time investment that we did 2 years ago. And now it's basically another $50 per year, which again doesn't make us rich, but it pays for 1.5 dinners or so with my wife. Yeah, and so patience is what people are missing, and appreciation for lower amounts, because all those lower amounts sum up as well. Yeah. In our other business areas, so we do a lot of affiliate marketing outside of YouTube and stuff like that. And there, for example, I don't know for what, but we once promoted something, probably a software that aligns with our software product or so, yeah, something like a social proof solution. I'm not 100% certain, but for the last, I don't know, 2 years or so, every month we receive $4.50 in commission. Yeah, now most people would say, well, $4.50, that doesn't change anything. It's like not making you rich, whatever. Yeah, but it's another, what's that then? A little bit more than $50 every year that we get, and I don't even know for what by now. I really forgot why we get that commission, which product we promoted there, but apparently somebody signed up and loved it so much that they keep paying for the subscription of that product, and we keep getting those $4.50 every month. Yeah. So again, in my opinion, it's not really about the about being greedy, because if you were greedy, you would actually have the patience to wait for the big payout. So it's just being like, I don't know, short-sighted and lacking patience. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So that basically is the last comment that we had here. So we're gonna look at the chat. Yeah. What's the latest news on Pi? It's actually, that's why I also did the phone sharing, because if you look in the Pi browser, the latest news is actually Pi Fireside. So it's, you see that new icon there called Fireside. And it's funny, I'm not sure if in the last episode or 2 episodes ago or so, but we talked about that Pi will need a use case. So use cases are important, and that could, for example, be some exclusive social media platform that requires you to have or own Pi in order to use it. And then basically immediately after that, Pi announces Fireside Forum, yeah, which is basically a forum with the aspect, you see that each post has this number of fire there. So if you want your post to rank higher, you actually would have to buy fire. Click here to buy more tokens. So that's a separate token. And you see for 1 Pi, you get 100 fire tokens. For 100 Pi, you get, 10,000 tokens, yeah? And then with that fire, can I go back here? Yeah, so yeah. With that fire home, yeah, you can then upvote posts, yeah? So it's, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a super fan of it, because it lacks things like that you can filter by language and stuff like that, yeah. But it gives Pi one use case. So you can basically say, okay, I'm gonna post something, and then I'm gonna use some of my Pi to push the post to the front, and that fire expires after 24 hours. So if you would create a post and you would add 64,750 fire to it to push it to spot number 1, then in 24 hours, those 64,750 fire would expire, which would cost you, what was it, like 600 Pi or 650 Pi or so to get that much fire. And Yeah, so for example, there's a huge community. I don't know about how many members are active, and I haven't read the rules of that community of the Fireside forum. Yeah, but if there's nothing in the rules, for example, against promotions, then you could create a post for Honeygain, so the bandwidth sharing app number one, or any other bandwidth sharing app, and then just use your Pi to buy Fire and keep your post as number one, so that everybody that checks out the Fireside forum from the 45 million users that that Pi Network has sees your post and potentially uses your referral link to sign up, where you then get 10% from the earnings. Yeah. Again, read the rules before you do it. I haven't read them, so it's just one thing that I'm saying. In general, I like that so that's the new part about Pi Network. So that answers the question from Jimmy, and I like that there is something new. However, I also see a problem with this, and it needs some changes. First of all, the multi-language part is an issue, because obviously if I go there and I see only what I believe is Vietnamese or so, like, why would I use it? I don't understand it. The second problem is that it obviously means whoever has more money, dictates the narrative. So it's not like on Reddit or so, where each user has one up or down vote, and where money still can be used a little bit to manipulate rankings by buying awards and giving them to posts. But here it's literally money dictates what you see and what you don't, because if somebody has 1 million Pi and they could buy a lot of Fire to push and maintain the posts that they want to see at the front, whereas then people that have 100 Pi have relatively little chance to get to the top. If you have 100 Pi, you could get 10,000 Fire, and if we look here, there are a lot of posts that have more than that, and the 10,000 Fire would only get you above this post here for 24 hours. So yeah, like it's great that there is development and a use case, but the Fireside forum would need some improvements in order to actually be a viable product that can attract people, that where you reach the point that people that currently have nothing to do with Pi Network would actually say, hey, I'm going to sign up there and I'm going to buy some Pi coins in order to use them there to boost my content or something. Yeah. And on top of that, it would need a separate app. While the Pi browser is great for like the development phase, at some point there would need to be separate apps for different Pi apps, where you then just have a login with Pi button, so that then opens up your Pi wallet app, which also should be separate and not in the Pi browser integrated, and logs you in. And as for buying Pi, there would then, once we have an open mainnet, need to be an option in the app so that people can simply pay with credit card to like make it easier for people that have zero experience with crypto. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's new about. And then we have Skli Eals asking, will the price listed by Forbes be stable after the mainnet? Yeah, the price listed by Forbes is not listed by Forbes, but Forbes just grabs that from things like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and the price there is not relevant very much, because those are not real Pi that are listed. Pi listing / price. Yeah. See, I made a video that explains the details about that. You can check it out. That definitely will explain it. The current price that's used in most transactions. So when you currently use your Pi coins to pay for something that you can do in certain communities and so on, you can check my latest videos on the channel for some examples of where and how. Is around 20 to 25 cents per Pi. Yeah, and that's where we are right now. So around that, there are some transactions that are made for better exchange rate and some for worse exchange rates, but the most transactions that I've seen are 20 to 25 cents per Pi, which is already a great value, because again, we should never forget, Pi is something that you have just for pushing a button. You didn't do any work or produce any kind of product or service or like goods to get financial value out of it, but those 20 to 25 cents are purely backed by the belief that that's what it's worth, and it's what most people that are selling stuff that I've seen are accepting as an exchange rate. Yeah, and there are enough people that are willing to give their Pi away for that exchange rate. So that's where we are right now. In the future, that might change, and once we have an open mainnet, which again requires a reasonable, or at least one reasonable use case for Pi. Could be the Fireside forum if they develop it further, could be something completely different. But yeah. And that's pretty much it, I guess, for today. So as said, next week, no daily streams for Common Chaos Live because we clearly don't have the volume of comments right now. So, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to jump online to answer one comment. So we'll make them weekly and then look at the comments that we had since the last stream. And and that's pretty much it. So I hope you all have a great rest of the Friday and a great weekend ahead, and see you all next week in one of my other streams, or on Wednesday in another episode of Common Chaos Live, or on Twitch or somewhere else. So thanks for tuning in, guys.